Hey everybody out there, my name is Sean Joy, aka Dragnix, and welcome back to The Hunt. If you don't know what The Hunt is, basically it's the games that I played during the week that have significance, whether it be they were first released this week, whether they were on sale this week, or have some kind of newsworthiness to it. Short segments, get right to the point, and let's go and hunt. Hotline Miami 2, Wrong Number. Overall, a good return to the controversial series, but it's not without its problems. The fun action is back with more variety this time, as you'll be forced to play in different scenarios, such as the inability to kill enemies but only stun and knock them out, to the original mask mechanic that gives you a special ability of some sort. This has led to some mixed opinions on the title, as some haven't liked the new forced missions per se. I'm not on that bandwagon, as I think the variety is one of the game's strongest points, but to me what's more concerning is the maps and level design problems. The bigger levels have you dying to things off-screen a lot, mostly dealing with a nicely placed glass window present and you dying from an enemy gunner that saw you off-screen. The frustration level can be high here, despite the quick turnaround to start again, but luckily the new emphasis on story and the always fantastic music highlight a game that Hotline Miami 1 fans should like as well. But if you didn't like the first one, the base gameplay is too similar to the first one to recommend in that case. Cinnamony. And I know I probably pronounced that wrong. There's a good concept and teaching game here, but the problem is the platform I took a look at it on, aka the PC. The idea of the game is simple. Start with one word, choose a synonym, and get to the target word in as many little moves and as short time as possible. You can learn some new words by doing this thanks to the right-click option on the main word you are branching off of. It would have been nice to be able to do that on words you're about to choose as well, as you actually have to choose it in order to learn it, thus lowering your score. Cinnamony is the perfect example of a good word game that was ported to PC, but that doesn't take advantage of its new platform. It could have been optimized to use less pages and put more words on the screen, or not to have the strangest option page in history, but the lack of effort on the port makes this game not worth picking up on Steam, but a reasonable consideration for those word gamer lovers on the mobile devices. Grapple. A good change-up of the physics 3D platformer genre. Using your body to swing yourself around the map, Grapple does a good job in mixing in new elements as you go along and was a good amount of fun for what I started playing this week. The controls will take a tiny bit of getting used to, as your movement is based on the direction you are looking, but once you get a hang of it, you can really start taking advantage of the environment to fling yourself all around the different obstacles around the map. What's done well here is the level design in addition to in-game learning mechanics. No game mechanic stays around for too long, as it introduces you to a new variation every couple of levels. While there's only 90 levels, and a speedrun can take you only an hour and 20 minutes, the only real question in my mind is the amount of content that you get for the $7 and $8 on Steam to get the game. If you like games like Quantum Conundrum or games of that type, you'll definitely want to take a look at Grapple. Ori and the Blind Forest. More of this, gaming industry, more of this. Ori and the Blind Forest is the star of the week in my opinion, as its wonderful presentation and solid gameplay make it stand out as a great game to pick up at $20. The game combines a fantastic visual experience that reminds me of Studio Ghibli in several ways, and adds a wonderful assortment of various musical tracks that I really want on my phone at this very moment. The platforming is solid and mixes things up rather nicely, as the controls complement everything that you try to do on screen. While the combat may be the weakest of the items present here, that doesn't say much, as the focus on dodging your enemies' attacks while laying down projectiles of your own is fun in itself. Really, the game excels on almost every level, and it's something that I will be completing to its entirety, which is saying a lot given the amount of games that I play during each hunt every week, and that doesn't even usually include the older games I play as well. That alone should say something about this title. It stands out as a shining example of where games have come in the last several years as an art form, and games overall. Well done by the guys at Moon Studios. Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 3. No. I've had my fill of Revelations 2 by this point, and it's not getting any easier. The gameplay style is most certainly not what I was wanting, as I made clear in the 2 hunts before this one. But I can safely say that any sort of good faith that the story mode had going for it was crushed in this part of the episode. From the glitches and awkward collision detection that the game has that takes you right out of the experience, to the completely horribly written plot that can't even satisfy on the dumb horror movie level. There's There's one alright boss fight, I suppose, but other than that, I hated almost my entire time with Episode 3. The only reason this game is worth anything is the raid mode, and while that in itself can be a blast, it doesn't make up for the awful design choices that the game has made on almost every level. I don't want to play this game anymore. Thank God there's one more episode, and then I can review it and be done with it, but that should say enough about my opinions about the latest episode. Bloody Streets. Too generic to stand out in the top-down shooter genre of zombies. While the art is nice and the animation quality is up there, the lack of variety in guns makes a game that doesn't hold up in terms of gameplay, unfortunately. The level design is a bit of a problem too. The tight corridors and zombies that come from everywhere means that you're going to be in close quarters combat almost the entire time, and the game attempts to just throw a lot of enemies at you as opposed to taking advantage of the level or the location in question. And despite that, it turns out to be too easy, only really dying in situations where you aren't paying attention. There's no real power-ups either, and while there are traps and a train around the levels to avoid, it just instead turns out to be a bland shooter that doesn't stand out. Avoid this. Parallax. It's one of those games that makes it really hard to do a first impressions on, mostly because of my own personal experience with it. It's a first-person puzzle game that you go back and forth between two different worlds using the switches and portals to try to get yourself to the exit. It's a slow, methodical type of puzzle game, where thinking things out beforehand is your best friend, before just randomly hitting switches to get through it. The problem on my side comes with the visuals itself. While I like the aesthetic, I found this sense of queasiness of sorts, as I began to develop a headache due to the effect that the white and black had on me. Now, there's some mechanics introduced at a slow pace here, and the puzzles are reasonably done, but its slow pace will wear on some. This is a thinking man's game, and while most puzzles seemingly only have one solution, you'll forget that while attempting to figure out what you did wrong and why you can't get the portals to line up properly in terms of moving world to world. Those looking for another puzzle experience may look here for a little bit of a different experience for the genre, but it won't be outshining games like Portal 2. Zombie Army Trilogy. I've been playing this most of the week on and off, and I haven't even done a video on my channel on it. I've always wanted to play it after seeing Mr. Sark play it on his YouTube channel, and while it's hit and miss on a couple of levels, I have enjoyed my time with it overall. It's always satisfying to see that bullet cam go through an enemy dome and see the blood spatter all over the place, but there's little touches here and there that could have been made that could have made it even better. The whole hat flying off thing still seems weird. The game is definitely a blast in co-op, especially with the bigger swarms and chaos that can erupt. There are some downsides, however, as the inability to return to a checkpoint after closing down the game is off-putting, as the first game of the series, for example, has very, very long levels. You'll need to allocate time to do them because of that. There's a reasonable discount on Steam if you have one or both of the original games, and the graphics upgrade plus the superior design and elements of the third new campaign, hence the trilogy, does make the game rather tempting to get. All in all, sniper fans will enjoy this, and in particular, a co-op team can lead to some really fun times and shenanigans for all. Worth a look for sniper fans out there. So that's the games of the week. There's several good games this last week, with Ori being the shining star of the bunch, but there's a lot of solid titles in the bunch here too, depending on your genre preferences and the type of games you want to play. Again, like always, if you want more information about a specific game covered, check the description of the video to see more links regarding videos and related articles from TechRaptor regarding these titles. Coming up this week, my god, the 17th is packed to the brim of games. Let's start with the obvious one. Battlefield Hardline is released on the PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PC. While I'm not a fan of the series or military shooters in general, Hardline attempts to mix up the formula with a cops and robbers style of gameplay. But the question will be, will it stand out enough from the fourth iteration of the series, or to justify some of the ridiculous amounts of some of the premium versions of the game? And hopefully the game won't be a buggy mess like its last counterpart. While it's not the more awaited of the series, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD releases on the 17th as well for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Using a real-time, action-based system similar to Crisis Core, the story plays out about a group of 12 students from a magical academy that are called into action after the Milites Empire launches an assault to gain control of the powerful crystals of the land. Yeah, this is a typical Final Fantasy plot here. It of course comes with the demo of the awaited Final Fantasy 15 for those who pre-ordered it. The game got a lot of great reviews over in Japan, so we'll have to see if this new HD counterpart will be able to stand out. Awakened Fate Ultimatum comes to the PS3 on, yeah, you guessed it, the 17th. Tanis has already done a review over at the main site regarding the game, so go click on this link if you want to learn more about this roguelike RPG with a man who has to become a god, essentially. For America, Mario Party 10 releases on March 20th. I'm not exactly sure what more to say about the 10th iteration of a game series, but some new additions are incorporated into this new version. There's a Bowser Party mode where a fifth player controls Bowser using the Wii U gamepad, and the other players avoid trying to be caught by Bowser and put into a test of a series of mini-games. And I'll wrap this up, of course, with the remaining games that stood out looking through the rest of the games coming out within the next week. It's going to be a busy week for the consoles for sure, and while I may not be focusing on several of the titles here, you can rest assured that the hunt will continue for the foreseeable future, looking for those little gems and little things that stand out in a sea of releases at this point. Thanks again for watching, and if you did like this content, go and subscribe to the TechRaptor channel. And you can always go check my channel out for stuff a little bit. You know, it helps me too. See you guys later. Hey everybody, my name is Sean Joy, aka Dragnix, and I thank you for watching. If you do like this video, hit that like button, and if you do want more content like this from TechRaptor, hit that subscribe button. I will be doing content for TechRaptor on Mondays and Thursdays video-wise, and then doing the rest of the week on the video on my own channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Also, play more games. Needs more games.